My name is Peter Mebane, one of the leads for our startup program, and I'm here today with James Mission, Head of Data Analytics at Flipside Crypto. We're coming to you live from the Data Heroes Hub at Snowflake Summit.
Hey guys, how's it going?
James, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Peter.
Maybe do a little bit of an intro, tell us what Flipside Crypto does.
Yeah, so we're a blockchain curated company. We get on-chain data and we provide it to different analysts, different enterprises, and different builders. And we have about 20 different blockchains that we curate, and we have our data on the Snowflake marketplace.
Awesome, sounds great. What level of granularity do you get with the data that you have?
Well, we have data from the Genesis block, which is the beginning of a chain, all the way up until chain head. And we have things like blocks, transactions, events, traces, receipts for different blockchains and messages for other ones as well.
Wow, sounds like a lot of data.
Yeah, to be exact, we have about 2.3 trillion rows of data, and it's probably less than 3 years worth of data altogether across 20 different blockchains.
Wow, really impressive. So James, I know one of the offerings that you guys have is the ability to share the data through the Snowflake marketplace. Can you tell us a little bit more about that offering and why you decided to do that?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of different things why we wanted to do that. One is to help reduce the footprint impact of storing data everywhere. A lot of different people like to curate data themselves and get data from blockchains and the nodes. And what happens is everyone's using storage essentially to store the same data and not do it the same way. So we decided, hey, our company is very dedicated and our sole focus is to curate data. So we want to be able to share that with other folks without having them to store it and just use their compute and storage, compute resources on Snowflake.
Gotcha, that makes a ton of sense. And what kind of companies or users are you trying to sell this data to?
Yeah, there's a wide magnitude of different users and different markets that we could do. The ones that we're looking and focusing at right now is financial institutions, hedge funds, definitely blockchain companies, whether they're layer one companies or layer twos or some centralized exchanges and different protocols as well. But you can venture out into commercials, right? So like Nike has an NFTs, that'd be something interesting. Education would be also an interesting space, but it's still very early in what we're doing. But financial industries is what we're focusing on right now.
Gotcha, okay. And it sounds like you've had a lot of traction on the marketplace so far. Can you talk a little bit about the progress you guys have made there?
Yeah, since January of 2023, we started, essentially mostly internal leads that have been coming through, inbound leads, I should say. Mm-hmm. We have approximately 15 or 16 that we've closed and are actually using Snowflake today. We have a lot of people on trial. Yeah. So we give a free trial for about a month for anyone who want to use our data just to test it out and try the waters out. But we're hoping to have a lot more in the next upcoming future.
Very, very cool. Awesome. It's great to see that you guys are taking advantage of that, and it seems like it's really taking off. So we talked a little bit before about how much data you guys have. That must be a lot of data to process, and I can only imagine like how much transformation and cleaning that has to be done when you guys get it. Can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you faced and maybe why you chose Snowflake as your platform to address some of those challenges?
Yeah, definitely. Some of the biggest challenges is we have 20 different blockchains that we're curating. Yeah. It could be equivalent to 20 different data teams, right? But it's all in-house under my team. You have to find the right mix of talent, people that have to know blockchains, people that have to know data, people that have to know like DBT or analytics engineering. So we use Snowflake because one, it allows us to scale up and down as fast as we can. So if we have something that would take normally a couple of weeks to process or a really long time with the extra small machine, we can just say, hey, bump it up to like a 2XL or 4XL machine, we can get it done. And it might be actually cheaper because we're getting it done in a faster time rate and then it doesn't take as much resources. So that's like a main part of that. And SQL, right? We want things to be easy to use versus other tools out there to do any kind of analytics.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well. And you guys are adding new blockchains all the time, I would assume.
Yeah, correct. We're probably adding like 2 to 3 every quarter.
Yeah.
So again, we started with maybe 4 in maybe about a year, and then we added another 16.
Wow.
Probably in the last like 18 months or so.
Yeah, that's nice. So I got to imagine the ability to scale up and down is really nice, and then also the ability to separate resources across those blockchains. So your teams aren't all fighting against each other to try to get those resources.
Right, and not only that, we actually provide a free app that anyone can go and query these trillions of rows of data for free using a Snowflake, like a large warehouse, right? So we have to separate that from our ETL warehouses because you don't want them to compete resources. We don't want the product behavior to get degraded because of our ETL process. So we have to segment those warehouses altogether.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense also. Now, you're letting those users query that data for free. They can kind of run whatever query they want. What are some challenges you faced on that side?
Yeah, definitely. It's you have a lot of people that don't know SQL very well. So when you're giving people access to like 100, 200 billion row tables that don't know where clause, don't know limits, and they just really want to return everything, that does kind of hamper the experience of the product. So what we do is we have analytics of like the queries themselves using the inbuilt Snowflake query history, and we try to target and maybe educate some of the users that aren't performing as well as they used to, so we can keep track of which ones are costing us the most amount of warehouse resources and credits.
Yeah, that's great that you're using that visibility in that way to actually kind of drive business value and not necessarily just checking to make sure things are being run correctly. So that's really great that you're using that functionality. James, I appreciate you joining us today. I think that's all the time we have.
Cool.
Hope you enjoy the rest of the summit.
All right, thanks, Peter. Appreciate it.